All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, traders. Welcome back. Welcome back to another live session. So it's 9:24 a.m. It's fairly late. I'm actually late here today, but for good reasons. The bathroom yet again was calling my name, so duty calls. But we're here, and we have 6 minutes, which is more than enough time to do our due diligence here and get ready for the day. So I'm watching three stocks, or maybe four, I should say. ADTX, which I think most people are probably watching. CCCC, CADL, and INAB as a maybe. Maybe this one does go, I don't know. So those are the four that I'm keeping an eye on, or should I say two eyes. Trap Trader, good morning. How you doing? May Sam, what's up? Shout out to all the beautiful students and viewers on YouTube alike tuning in. So ADTX is the main stock here that I'll be watching into the open. Right now, pre-market highs are at 750. I did turn on my screen recording, which is good. Highs are at 750. The daily chart, let's see. $7, we had a high point, then 13, and then 13.70. So those are a few levels that I'll keep an eye out for. 13. We're pushing over 7 already, which is good. These levels aren't super like noticeable, but topping wicks, right? Topping wicks. Volume isn't super high, but also again, I think some people might keep an eye on it. Over 1370, there's another one, but you know it's so far out of the way. I think those two areas might be pretty good for now. 1370, 24 kind of, pushes up from there. I think this one might have had a few splits as well over time the last few weeks, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure this one wasn't, yeah, it's definitely had a few splits. So ADTX, high of 750, low of the move down below VWAP was 637, or rather 594, actually, 594. We'll see how it does. I think it looks pretty decent. So CCC, C, right, there's four C's. This one we had a high point of 216 and a low point of 169. We're currently at 180. On the daily chart, we have the 200 EMA at 355. Last time we traded this stock, the 200 EMA was at 641. So again, the history does repeat itself over time, right? These same stocks will come back from time to time and give a bit of a move. So if it is strong, I think that's a fair level to watch. 355, 360, 360, we had 29 million shares of volume back on that particular day. So I think if we can see a move up to the highs and then potentially $253, that'll be pretty good for this one. As a 2-minute warning, here it is. Right on time. It's coming up. Lastly, there's stock CADL. Huge high point on this one at 330, but then a big drop. Dropped off to the depths of Davy Jones' locker. High point after the drop, 163. After that move up, we had lows of 125. 200 EMA is at 136 on this stock. We'll see how it does. Are there any other key levels I might want to keep an eye out for? 122. It seems a little, we'll kind of have to see. Maybe even 306, where we kind of rejected the 200 EMA a few weeks ago. Yeah, so anyhow, quickly, as we have 1 minute, I'll just say the disclaimer here. Remember that day trading is risky. Remember that if you're not consistently making money, it's better to approach it in a slow and low risk way, utilizing simulators, utilizing what they call risk money, right? A small amount of cash, if you lose it, doesn't affect you. Remember, the live streams and recaps are not an invitation to copy trade. Trying to say, hey, Relentless Trader is buying, let me buy. Quickest way to blow up an account. There's a very intricate and detailed system and strategy here. It's not just buy, sell, buy, sell. There are things we're looking for, and you have to understand it for it to make sense. All right. So, understand the risks of the market here. Understand that you have to be disciplined. You have to be a good manager. Lastly, be careful of those fake accounts. There's a lot of impersonators. Remember, I will never message you first. I will never ask for personal information or money. With that being said, ADTX, what does this beautiful stock has in store for us today? I got 1,000 shares across the board to start. Seems volatile so far. High of 25, low of 696. High of 40. I'm going to try and take a dip there. I'll get a decent fill. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, halting up. Well, I guess I should have held that trade instead of looking for a quick scalp, because just like that, we're going to get halted up. I'm in at 15, out at 25, man. Hindsight is 2020. I thought I was in at 5, selling at 35. So my fill was higher going in and lower coming out. I'm a little disappointed there, but okay. Just like that. So the other one is moving up as well. CCC, are we going to get a push here through 190 perhaps? Or maybe not a push through 190. I don't want to be overly aggressive here, but if we're going to see a stock halt up like this, and with this type of halt up this early, like, it makes me wonder how aggressive I might want to be, because if assuming we can get a great trade out of this resumption, I might want to go full size, 5,000 size, as Tim would say, 5K size, 5K size, 5K size. It's very aggressive. If we lose, we'll for surely be down like 3K. Do we want to take on that kind of risk this early without having a cushion? Or am I being too worried about the risk? And do I want to go for it? At a certain point, it's not about the money anymore. It's about greatness. And maybe this is what we need to do to get ourselves to the next level. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go 4K size. But if I lose, well, we'll worry about that later. We'll manage our risk as best as we can. And if we lose, we lose. It's okay. I think we're gonna go for it here. These are the days that we've been dreaming of. We have a super strong stock right out of the open. There can be a great resumption trade. I'll manage my risk as best as I can. The money doesn't even matter right now. These are the moments for me to push myself. And this is what needs to be done. Feeling good. Feeling ready. So hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. ESPN, the playoffs coming up in the next few minutes. We got 2 minutes to resumption. Big Steve, brother. We're going full size.
SMAP KELYB ADTX
Feel like Lightning McQueen, coming out of the blocks in the race. CADL also pushing up a little bit. Is there a high of day entry coming up on this one? The volume could be heavier. High of days at 35 or 33. Resumption, by the way, will be at 35.33. 35.33. We're halted up at 770. It's showing 788, $8. So we might resume $8 is my guess. We haven't been more ready for this type of trade here. There's a lot of risk that I'm going to take here, but I feel good. If it's a losing trade, it'll also be a good test for me to keep focus and continue to be aggressive with smaller size to get back to where I need to be. So we got a little over 15 seconds here. 10 seconds, assuming it's a 5-minute halt. We're halted at 770. Here we go. Oh, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. Telling you guys, man, this stuff he knows won't leave me alone. Why why am I this antsy? Come on, jeez. This is normal things for us. That's how we would say it in the team house, right? We have to normalize, you know, pushing ourselves a little bit towards the edge of our comfort zone. So CCC at 191 after a red to green right there. But seems to be having trouble over 91, I'd say. There's 94, but back down 91. CADL on the other hand is pushed up to 42.
SMAPKELYB.
Yeah, I don't think the other two are like looking that great. So I'll just wait for this one to resume. We got another 3 minutes or so. Yeah, going back to that first trade, like I had great positioning in there, man. Just, I sold it way too soon. But again, I did think I had a lower fill going in and a higher fill coming out. I thought it was at least a 30-cent trade. I only made 10 cents, which is quite disappointing. Of course, with this type of size too, if I don't see the entry, like if it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna take it. It has to be what we want. That way, if it is a losing trade, it's very easy to like live with it. There's no like regrets or doubt or disappointment. We'll live by the S-class setups all day long. I'll have a window at half size set in case we do get a good trade, but then the risk becomes like increased, a magnitude higher, which does happen if we squeeze more. We got about a minute and some change. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, give us that thumbs up for live streaming our trades here. Being transparent, being real, putting it all out there. No fear, no hesitation. In the next minute or so on ADTX. SAVA being mentioned. Yeah, CCC is a little tricky. C4, that's a hilarious name. C4 Therapeutics is the name of that company. Well, I guess there's four C's, right? Explosive Therapeutics. It's quite the name there. I like it. So we got about 30 seconds to ADTX resumption. About 10 seconds, assuming it's a 5-minute halt. 770. Here we go. Can we get a dip? Can we get a dip? That wasn't a real dip, man. It might dip more here. Maybe not. I could have took 28, but that would have been like a crazy aggressive trade, you know? It didn't dip enough. Good attempt, though. Good attempt. Okay. Bit of a spread. Break of 9. The hell is that, a losing trade? But okay. The spreads are way too big on the dip, so it's like can't really do too much. It might, with those high fills. We'll see if it gives a few more opportunities here. It's very extended at this point, though. Oh, hitting the buy button twice there by accident. So we got, it might drop more, I think. Here it is, 50. You got to be quick to get good fills on this thing. Seems like that might have been the low, though, which is good. My fills are all over the place, and I'm missing some of the pullback trades. So we got a high of 950. The low is about 850 there. Halt opposite 73. Nope. Decent attempt there, 74. There's a big seller at 9, 22,000 size. Waiting patiently here.
ADTX CLINU.
There's a bit of a churn here, just waiting. Well, the fills aren't awful with the big size, which is good, but I think that's going to be a failed breakout there. It's not going to keep going. Well, if this can be strong, I think we can catch a good sequence at some point. So we just got to be patient and keep watching, keep waiting for the key areas. I gotta not even give that type of trade time. That is in and out. If it doesn't get back over the whole dollar, it's like instant. So right now we're consolidating. We're just waiting to see what it does. It's kind of back in this middle zone, I'd say. Mm-mm-mm. That was a great attempt right there for that red to green, but it's not quite pulling away.
DUNE.
It might just be a little slower to happen, I think. We could have done better with that. All right. Lows at 30. We gotta not be sloppy here. So lows at like 813, the highs at 950. It's a huge range. But the 5 minute candles, I seem to be strong here. I probably should have bought that dip again. The key is for this type of stock is like, how low are we gonna go? And of course, I'm cutting that trade too soon at that low, so that would have been a good trade. So we got 62 by 78. Spread. It looks good. I think it looks pretty healthy. I'd expect we'd be back over 9 pretty soon. So I definitely should have took that dip down at like 16 aggressively and just look to hold. It looks pretty good here. So will we be able to get back over 9 over time? Preferably without a double bottom because we could end up failing if we go back down there again. But still looks good. We got a couple seconds left in this 5-minute candle. Let's see, are we gonna see a double bottom? There's too many like losses here taking these trades like this. Hate those entries, man. So I think we should get back over 9. So I'm not doing great for what I'm seeing here. We could have definitely been doing better. It's moving well. There's a 10,000 share bid. Ay, ay, ay. We could have handled this better to this point. So we'll see what the next move has to offer. Hopefully we don't see a false breakout though. Uh, Disappointing. Held up nicely, but disappointing. We didn't see that continuation through 9. High is at 50. There's 10. That's a brutally high fill at 72 right there, buying that dip. We have a low now at 40. So like the 5-minute candle will make the new high seems to be failing here. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down. But we'll see. High of the last 15, lows at 39. Hmm.
D-U-N-E. D-U-N-E-U.
Still getting a high fill there is like, come on. Come on. Okay, maybe a little too aggressive there, but expected a breakout. No good. We're rejecting. And we got a high point of, it's saying 91, but I think I saw like 60 something. So it's the third 5-minute candle to kind of not really get up there. That low was 30, or maybe, yeah, 22 actually. Waiting patiently. Higher low. Will it take a trip to the depths here? Or will we hold? Okay, maybe a little too quick on that sell, but volume a little slow. Oh crap, my share size. Jeez. Anyhows, it's not gonna work. At least not instantly. Sometimes I reduce my size to scale out and then I forget to increase it again. I definitely could have done better with this stock.
C-L-I-N-U.
Just a little sloppy around the edges, you know? The first resumption trade was such an aggressive trade. Like we dipped like 20 cents after like a $2 move. Just wasn't willing to be aggressive in that type of dip. I think it looks good, but like it's an extended pullback, so there's no way of telling, for me at least, where it's gonna bottom. You know, maybe it's at the pre-market high right here, maybe it's lower. It wasn't VWAP. But we'll still see a stocks like look good like this and still sell off all the way down. So I'm not willing to be super aggressive down here at all. Good move though, good move. I think we took about 2 to 3 trades that weren't really great trades. And then in one area we're a little too aggressive. So it's like 4 areas where we could have done like better. Other than that, good effort. You know, I like that I put the size out there. felt good, but not quite connecting. Wanted to see a nice retest on this candle here. From 8:30, we got to about 8:60. It's showing 91, but I don't think we got to 91. Maybe like a random small order probably got filled up there. Bills are definitely brutal on the ask. What I gotta do too is size down to make sure I don't have like an actual red day on this stock, because then that wouldn't be good at all. Because I think I could have still been green um, if I like didn't make those mistakes I did. At least like 1K or something. So the worst case scenario is me going down like 1,500 on this stock, which shouldn't happen by any means. We gotta, if it does curl back up here slowly, we gotta sneak in some good trades. There's 29. High of 28. Low of 02. It'll be good to see if the next 5-minute candle makes the new high. Big Steve, we're having a misfire here. Sizing down to take it slow, take it easy. So VWAP held up there, not bad. The volume is definitely on the lower side for now.
CLINU.
Seems like some volume is getting into it here in this area. It's hard to borrow here at Thinkorswim. It's like there's volume, but then it's not really going. So there's definitely some sellers mixed in here. Yeah, there's definitely some sellers watching. Brave, brave of them. Very brave. Short sellers, they never learn their lessons. Good hold there. If I get another chance, if it goes again, and it gives the entries, this time we won't let it get so lucky. This time we're not going to make those silly mistakes. I think I might have been a little too antsy on that move up. High. We got about 40 here. Feeling good. Feeling excited for the next move. Definitely a crucial area here. You've been having resistance around 40. Okay, you're filling me on the ask every time. Come on. Just waiting patiently. Looks like it might come down, or maybe not. I'll have to be very patient here and wait for this stock. If it happens to give another move, if it does, hopefully it's not a false breakout. We'll have to be very patient. Might take another 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We'll have to wait, and we'll have to keep watching like a hawk if I'm to capture any trades here. Can't help to think what I should have done better, but pushing that type of size, being a little bit, antsy. Ended up taking some not so great trades in some of the areas. So far, so good here. We're back at this resistance area. How well is it going to be able to do? Do not go to the depths. Oh, these fills are so brutal. I'm seeing 25 a minute, 41. It looks like it might be failing here. Can we hold up? Try it again. Fills are brutal. So we got over the resistance at 40. We got to about 70. We're back at the resistance. We're holding above the resistance. Can we keep going? Can we keep going? Can we keep going? What's it going to be? Up or depths? Cut that scratch. Might get back in here again. We want to see the instant rip through 50. We should be mooning here. 40 again. It's struggling. Struggling. Instead of mooning, it's mooning in the wrong way to the depths. This is what we should have had on a green candle. Instead of being down here, we should be at 940. Short sellers winning the day, winning the battle. Yet again, the short sellers are winning another battle. Man, my fills have not been favorable at all. So, some of the trades where I could have maybe gotten a little scratch trade or small green, for sure, just red trades. We have to, for us, like long traders, we would want to see it continue to hold up like 740, 730. But I don't know, it doesn't look great. Looks like it's on its last legs, if you ask me. But there's a whole lot of time left in the day, and these stocks can be irrational, so something could still happen. But I think probability wise, maybe backside, maybe. I think it's I'll take whilst I would have wanted to be green like 1,000 or something more. I'll take this and I'll be humble. I'll hold what I have, and this is a good lesson for me today. I'm proud of myself for stepping up with the big size and taking on that level of risk because it's hard to not think with about 4 or 5 thousand shares on a halt resumption how easy it is to lose 50 cents or more. And it's like, man, I could be down 2-3K in the blink of an eye. So glad I pushed it. It feels good to do it because then doing it again is going to be easier mentally, right? I don't know. I felt like I was a little antsy, and ultimately I kind of took some trades that I probably could have done a little bit of a better job with. So here's a potential halt down. The volume to the sell side here is a little light, but it looks like it might get halted down. Next time. Next time. Under resumption, if I had under resumption, if I had small size, that'd have been long, right? But again, knowing this is how you adjust the strategy in a way that's not great because you know you're taking on more risk. But at the same time, I do adjust my share size according to risk, right? If there's an area that I think can be very, very risky, and I think it could still be a good trade, at times I'll use smaller size. So on this resumption, I was hoping we would get a clean dip and then the rip, but it opened up fairly high and it held like, I think only like a 20-cent drop. So after this big move, the halt resuming higher and only like a small pullback, I'm like, not gonna go for that. It needed to be a quality plus. But if I had a smaller size in my order entry window, I would have took that trade, which would ended up resulting into like 40 cents. So share size definitely, you gotta mentally prepare. You gotta mentally prepare. I think the resumption might give a good there might be a hold on, the other one is going up. I'm rambling on here. Jeez Louise, look at that move. Oh, I missed it. Highs at 28, pre-market highs at 16. Out of nowhere, this one taking off. Over to 11. It's a good move. 30 cents. The resumption will be at 25.42. So 2 minutes and some change. I don't know, C4 Therapeutics, the price action isn't really what I need here. So there might be some opportunities, but I have to be careful. It seems more heavy, a little chunky. It's like a chubby baby, right? This stock, the way how the price action is looking. The resumption is coming up here, which I'll trade. I think there'll be an opportunity. Short sellers, man. So instead of covering over 40, they probably held and maybe it was even adding. Probably waiting for 9. With all that extra selling, we didn't stand a chance. Whoever's selling, right? A big bank, an institution, whatever. So we're halted down at 734 off of a drop from 860. There was a small bounce, but it's showing 704 resumption. I don't know if it will, but it's showing pretty low here. Gap down about 10 seconds. The other one looks like it's making a new high. 630, 734. Here we go. That wasn't, well, maybe I could have held it a little longer. Yeah, this looks like it's done. Maybe, I don't know what it'll do from here. This is this is usually where I kind of just fully come off. Whatever it does, it'll do without me. This is one of those days I have to watch back in full. I need to go from 9:29 a.m. all the way to now and rewatch this entire thing. And I hope it's not as bad as I think it is.
ADTX.
I hope it's not as bad because right now I'm thinking I should have definitely caught some areas. But this is good though, right? Again, on the side of risk management, biggest positions ever in a long, probably ever really. And to end the day on the stock down 180. So what will it mean when we connect properly on a stock like this with that type of size? Future is bright. Future is bright. We did have a CPI data today, so let's see how the overall market is doing. I'll check some of the big FANG stocks. Seem a little sideways. Red to green, essentially flat. Apple. Meta. Meta making some new highs. Netflix. Kind of down and sideways. Google, or should I say Alphabet, also kind of sideways. I think that the data was neutral. The data was neutral. I think month over month was expected to be flat, but it was 0.10 or something like that. So it's still like negative, right, overall, but it's like barely negative, right? It's essentially flat. So if that can continue to be the case, more than likely the Fed will not increase rates, right? So we'll see. The jobs data was interesting because they were looking at like 180,000 new jobs. There was like close to 200,000, but then you had people coming back from strike, right? Like the people in Hollywood, the Writers Guild, and then like the auto workers. So was it really 200,000 jobs? It's just people who are now getting back on payroll, right? So, you know, more than likely they're not going to do anything tomorrow. They probably need to see more data into the new year before they do anything. Either increase again or continue to or let's say start to decrease. They'll probably stay sideways more than likely, right? Tomorrow we'll see, right? FOMC's tomorrow, so a tenth, a tenth of a basis point. The other stocks I'm not interested in at all. So right now I'll kind of just be sideways, waiting if something comes up. Like this CCC, the issue with this type of stock is that this big move that we had, it's like it comes randomly and it's unexpected. Maybe another one happens, but the amount of paper cuts like I'll take trying to get a breakout, it's like by the time the breakout comes, I'm only flat. Maybe even red. Because you lose a cent, 2 cents, 3 cents. Before you know it, you're down 15 cents. The breakout comes, the breakout is only 10 cents. You can't, and that's if you even get to capture it. 28 by 29, there's 30. Can we see 35, 40, 34? 36, 37. All right, all right. This is what I need to see. This is what I need to see here. Not bad, not bad. Not bad at all. 40K seller, 35. But this stock seems to be pretty liquid, so do not go to the depths. All you do. And it's gonna go to the depths. Lovely. Oh, it's not even on screen. Jeez. From up 40 bucks to red 80 bucks. Anyhows, I know I shouldn't have been trading it. I'm gonna lose $100 for no good reason at all. Throwing money to the wind is what that's called. Tried to buy a dip here at 27. It's gonna flush down at 22. Yeah, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting. I don't know if something else will come. If not, I'll shut it down and come back later. If not, tomorrow again. I wonder if I didn't increase size, how I would have done on that stock. And I'm not overthinking anything, right? I'm just kind of like looking at different avenues. But the avenue that I chose is the one I choose every time. It's the way to go. Red to green is in the building. Red to green. Hold on, let me come over to the YouTube comments. Red to green is back. What's the difference on taking a dip on CCC versus ADTX? Well, ADTX I felt was a little bit more volatile and there was more of a range. So, going from let's say $8 up to 820 was rather quick. And I love to trade that type of momentum. That's fast pace. CCC, you know, sometimes on this type of stock, it's much more slower moving. It's much slower, right? Much slower. And, you know, from 220, maybe we go to 225. You have to take such massive size to get like a similar reward that you could on the other one. The range is just tighter. But other than that, this stock seems to be a little, chunky. Right? The best way I can explain it is like running and you kind of have that like parachute behind you. It's like resistance. Resistant training is what this stock looks like here to me. But there's opportunity without a doubt, because there always is. It just comes down to, preference and how you interpret the stock. So there are definitely going to be people here who might be wildly green on this one, and they prefer this one over the other one. Yeah, I'm at the gym. At the gym, I'm trying to work on my legs right now, man. My legs are like no good. I got like the chicken legs, so trying to work on the legs, and I got to look up some more exercises for calves. I do have an injury to my left knee, unfortunately, that I had back in college. To this day, my left knee is like in the depths. If I walk upstairs, I'll feel pain. If I walk flat with any weight, I also can feel pain. It's like pretty bad. So my left quad is like naturally smaller than my right. I guess, subliminally, I've been overcompensating. So it's like one of those people that'll do like cycling. And on top of that, my dominant hand and foot is my right. So that also plays a role. So I got a lot of work to do. Red to green, when are you gonna make your triumphant return to the chat? The people want to know. For those of you who don't know Red to Green, by the way, he's a great trader. He's profitable. He's one of the people who had shared his screen, back in the day when we were all like in Discord regularly in the Gen 1, Gen 2 chats, talking and hanging out. He would share his screen from time to time to show us what, he did on the day. And he also has a smaller channel too. But, there was a day where we were, being very, enforceful, which is good to do. You need to do that as the leadership in the community to make sure that the rules are being followed. And we mentioned to Red to Green, hey, make sure that all the moderators and lead people are not blocked. Here's the thing, right? Some people will feel FOMO, right? Let's say there's a guy in the Discord, who might be doing well, and you just don't want to see that person, talk about anything. Maybe they give you FOMO, right? But it's like if anybody in there blocks me, for that reason, it's something that we just can't allow because I'm the lead, right? No, I wouldn't call that drama. I would just call that, not seeing eye to eye is how I'd say it. A difference in opinion, right? Drama is a whole nother story. Yeah, but anyhow, Red to Green. Long story short, we're waiting for you to make your return to the chat room. And also, if you come back, please don't be doom and gloom. Because at times Red to Green can be, you know, the market is gonna end kind of thing. Small caps are gonna go to the depths. Day trading will not last. We will all be doomed. My thing is, it's like at the end of the day, this is a business and we're taking on a risk. We're taking on a risk to be able to yield these returns, right? We understand what it means to become a consistently profitable trader, especially on the high side of things. There's always going to be risks, right? Things can change, policies can change, brokers can change, regulation can happen. But regardless of whatever might happen, we have to know to ourselves that we can be flexible and that we can change. If they come back tomorrow and they say, hey, commissions is $100 to buy and to sell, then we'll have to make some adjustments. Whether that might mean our trade style or as far as leaving the market to do something else, right? I think at the end of the day, we can't be afraid of change. We have to just embrace it. So if day trading stops working tomorrow, then oh well, on to the next venture, on to the next thing, right? Whatever it takes to be successful, whatever it takes to get to our dreams. There's a million ways to make money. This is not the only one. Every other day. But anyhows, it's good to see you in the chat, man. It's good to see you. When I come down to Atlanta again, I'll check you out. We'll meet up for some lunch somewhere. I might go down there. I might go next year actually for Memorial Weekend. Oh yeah, we can grab some pizza for sure. Dave, you're also in Atlanta. Yeah, this right, because I spoke so much with Red to Green, I don't mind meeting him, but for anybody else, we can definitely do some video calls in the Discord, around that time. We'll see each other faces and then we can meet up at a pizza shop. I'm cool with that. No, Red to Green wasn't a mentor. He's a good trader though, solid trader, profitable, is doing his thing. Solid year last year. I'm guessing a solid year again this year. Vitali, how you doing? Vitali is one of these guys from the YouTube stream that also has my Instagram, right? And back before my Instagram wasn't as big, and this in terms of being accessible, right? Vitali messaged me and he's like, "Hey, it's Vitali from the YouTube stream. Do you mind us having a chat?" And before you know it, Vitali and I were talking there for hours. So Vitali, I hope you're doing well. I know you did mention a few days ago that you will be a father pretty soon. So once again, congratulations. And I hope your wife is doing well. Vitali frying up, putting some bread in the oven. You see, when there's nothing moving, this is what the live stream becomes. Which is why I don't stay live all day, because I'll just be here talking to people's ears off. And I'm not talking anything about trading. But it's not good because sometimes I get carried away and I'm not looking at the scan, I'm not looking at the chats. And before you know it, there's a stock that gives a big move. And I'm here missing everything. So I gotta come back and check. Yeah, the market orders, I don't know why I complain about it at this point in time. Buying market order means you can get filled anywhere in the spreads. Bid, ask, in between, right? So when I get filled on the ask, it's like, it's just part of the deal. What I try to do in some of the areas though that makes it a little disappointing, because I know I can get a high fill, sometimes I'll take on the maximum amount of risk. There's a ton of selling going through, and I'll say, you know what, man, for the sake of trying to get a good fill because I like the stock in this zone, let's say 810 by 825. I don't even care if I'm filled at 25, right? Or 810. So I'll try to just buy into the red. But then I look and I see I'm filled at 40. And the ask was at 40, but with so much selling going through at and below the bid, I would have liked to think that I could have gotten a fill on the lower side. But I'm in at 40. And that's for me what's disappointing about it. in some of the situations. And there are some times where I'm a little late, or because the stock is so volatile, it's already back up in the moment of me hitting buy, and that's cool. But in those areas where I'm early, buying into a big flush, and I look and I still see that I'm in the moon, it's just a little disappointing. Yeah, Thinkorswim, E-Trade, most of these platforms, the fills are on par. I used to use E-Trade as well. Their fills, I think, are very similar to Thinkorswim. Or maybe Thinkorswim might be slightly better. The price improvement was way better like a few years ago because I have videos of me trading a few years ago. When I watch them, spread is 50 cents. I'm in 5 cents above the bid. Now that right there is like incredible stuff. That doesn't happen anymore though. Alamo, Alamo, if you're trading in a cash account, you got to make sure to size down if you're having a hard time. Sizing down allows you to stay in the game longer and allows you to build more experience rather than big size. You kind of wipe yourself out. You have to refund the account. Maybe it takes you some time to refund the account, right? You got to give yourself as much time as possible in the market. The thing is that the average person, they just don't really know this information, right? It's not the way people are really thinking, especially if you're coming in. There might be a little hint of desperation, maybe, or just excitement, or because we hear those success stories all the time of people doing well. It's like this guy did well. Okay, he bought this stock. I can come into the market. Maybe I can do well. Before you know it, you're on Robinhood and you're losing money. That's what happened to me. This is one of the only professional fields that in this day and age, you don't need any certification or um, examinations or anything to do, right? Think about any other professional field, from the pilots to the CPAs, the doctors, the plumbers, the electrician. These people have to go through so much education, even like in software engineering, hardware, even mechanics, they have to go through some sort of technical school or apprentice or something, right? When it comes to the stock market, yes, we have the professional people on Wall Street who have done examinations, right, with SEC and FINRA and all these different organizations, and then they become licensed traders. They know a lot about the market and different components, how to work on the floor. The average person like you and I, we can just download Robinhood, and before you know it, we have access to what a lot of the professional traders have access to in the sense that we can buy and sell companies and trade options and futures and all these things. Why is it like that? Well, I can tell you guys why it's like that. They want to take our money. That's why it's like that. To be very honest, right? They want to take our money. To be very real, that's the only thing that can make sense. They don't want to make it hard for us to lose our money. They want to make it as easy as possible for people to lose their money. That's why we see so many ads everywhere. It's like, okay, this person, the ads are not working on them. They see the ad of the nice new car, of the new diamond ring. Man, this person, they're so disciplined. They're not falling tricks for these ads. You know what? This person, though, they have a big savings account. They might want to, come into the market because they can think that they can, build wealth or make a gain. And so they essentially, give you easy access. All right, he has, 20K in his account. Can we get him to download Robinhood and lose his 20K? That's how these people think. As brutal as that sounds, that's exactly what's happening. Because why else would they allow us to just be able to come into this space that's so difficult? You know, they know what they're doing, so we have to make sure that we take it slow. And it's actually, if you ask me, it's like a blessing in disguise, because if we do have the awareness to take it slow, or you come across, whether it's a channel like this or any other channel that's like, preaching take it slow, reduce the risk, maybe you can become profitable over time from slowly learning, right? And then it's like at that point there's so much potential. So you come across a channel like this, you know, and you hear, hey, take it slow in the markets. You start to, build a strategy, hypothesize, backtest. It's like if we have to, like, sometimes, what's the saying? Like, you put your foot into like a different shoe to like gain a different perspective. If today I tell myself, all right, I'm gonna go try and be a doctor or mechanic, what steps would you take to start learning? All right. Whether you have your own car, maybe you start looking at your own engine, maybe you buy some books, maybe you watch some tutorials, right? Maybe you start off with the brakes, and then you make your way to the engine. Bob, Bob, my guy, this is not an see, Bob, you have it all wrong, brother. This is not an English speaking channel. I'm not here to speak flawless English, my man. See, the people are already saying to ban you, Bob. The people are already looking to send you to the depths. This is not a channel for, this is not English class. This is not English class, brother. Uh, let's see. I'm forgetting my train of thought. But anyhow, yeah, that's how the capitalistic system is right now. So it allows us to be able to come into the market without having to do those examinations, which can be a good thing if we take it slow. It makes you wonder why they have the PDT rule. We had commissions. People thought commissions would never really go away, but would they ever, reduce the PDT requirement amount? Would they ever get rid of it altogether? SAVA is being mentioned. The community is great, man. We're blessed to have such a lovely community. So tomorrow, once we have the Fed talk, we'll see how the market reacts. Guys, some of these companies, they're doing all right, but we of course have to do our own research, and we have to, manage risk. Same thing as day trading, whether we're holding long term for swings, or even for investments, right, over a few years. Because you can be in something for a couple of months. We maybe consider that like a longer term swing. Maybe a 1 year plus, you start looking at like an investment. But there's money to be made. There's money to be made. Some of these companies are doing all right, and they're not as cheap as they were during the pandemic, but they're looking pretty decent. Some of them. So we have to do our research, see what we think is at a discount and that could be thriving once again, once we get back into a bull market. And there could be opportunity there, but there's always still risk, right? So again, we have to manage, we have to understand, what we're willing to lose if the investment doesn't work. Right now, I'm looking to like I have like emergency savings. Let's say something, because things can happen, right? We all have our personal lives. Only you know the system that you're living in best, right? Whether you're renting somewhere, you're paying a mortgage, you have a roommate, whatever it might be, you have tenants. So I think an emergency savings is pretty good, just in case something, maybe we don't make money for 6 months, right? And that's happened before. We can still survive and manage without having like issues. So other than that, I'm looking to reinvest. And real estate right now is just so expensive with the interest rates, man. So I think it's a good time if you have the cash. I mean, if you have the cash, it's like still not a bad time if you just can buy outright, which some individuals can do, maybe more so institutions, but those interest rates are like crazy, man. And I'm pretty sure we've all seen the examples already or heard of them. What was 400K or half a million or a million with the interest rates, a few years ago versus today, the difference in the amount of, interest you'll be paying. So I think real estate for me, where I'm at right now, is just maybe a little too pricey. So, I'll be waiting. Actually, Crystal Ball, that's a good point. That's when I started that statement, I was gonna say that I also have money put aside for taxes too, because there's no escaping Uncle Sam, right? But the thing is about taxes is that it's very like personal, right? Or maybe the word is subjective. For different people, it'll be very different, even if you're in like the same bracket, right? Depending on different factors. The first one, is like location. It, Living in some of the coastal states, the taxes are just that much higher. Um, there's other factors. Are you married? These different type of things that can affect it. You know, are you like in this particular space? I mean, even if you're not a trader, but are you trading under an entity? Are you reporting as an individual, right? There are differences there, different things that you can do, and I'd say they lean more towards companies and businesses, LLCs and corporations. It's like you can be able to write off more. For example, you can write off subscriptions. If you're trading under an entity, you can write off subscriptions, you know, any sort of material, even like an office space, right? It's calculated, I think, by square footage. I forget the exact like dollar amount, but yeah, you can write off to a degree like if you have like a home office, right? There's certain things that you can do. Like you can write off a small amount versus your rent, like the rent or mortgage, right? But of course you have to speak with a professional, a CPA or a tax advisor. I mean, there's a bunch of different things. Different like different accountants will also have different levels of experience. It's again, it's just one of those things that's very like, subjective, personal. There's a bunch of other things I'm forgetting to say right now too. Also, the amount that you've made, right? How much did you make? Also, people, some people have other assets outside of like outside of trading. They have other businesses outside of this space, and all of that will kind of come will pool together. And so it's very possible somebody could make like 500,000 trading.
Relentless O.
And depending on their other business and what their other business is doing, if there's like some crazy depreciating assets or something, it's possible that they don't pay any taxes. All right, that stuff could happen, but it depends on like the individual and like again what type of other businesses they might have. There's also those I forget which what is it like a 10 when you do like Uber and Lyft and all those things, DoorDash. When you do that type of stuff, I'm pretty sure you can like write off your phone bills and all that. Like if you're keeping receipts, which you should be keeping receipts, like gas, like damages, maybe even some depreciation. But again, you have to consult with an expert, a CPA. I've heard of stories, but I don't know. Again, I don't know if these things are true. Like people people writing off an entire car. Like I mean, I don't know. I don't know, right? But if that's what you're doing as your full-time job, maybe it's possible, right? Because there are some Uber drivers you'll come across. It's like, hey, how long have you been going today? Hey, 12 hours. I go from Monday to Saturday, 12 hours every day. So it's one of those things. What sets Momo Pro apart from other scanners? Momo Pro for me is pretty straightforward. I like the gap scan down here, which, if you ask me, you know, hold on, Relentless Momo. Yeah, if you ask me, it's pretty good, right? I mean, everything you need, all the hot stocks that I'll trade every day, as I show up, it's here. And one thing I tell people is I don't like to rely on anybody else, like in the sense of, something informal, like watching at scanners on YouTube. Like, okay, if you don't have the money to and you can't afford something, I get it. You got to do what you got to do. I've been in that situation before, but I like to be self-sufficient. I want to have everything at my disposal. If that person stops streaming, I'm still good to go. And so when it comes to me compiling a watch list, I come down to the discovery section, which is essentially a gap scan, and I filter for these, what's it called? This criteria, right? High percentage gain, high volume, relative volume, float, the gap, and Momo Pro does that very well. What they can improve on is the high of day momentum scanner. The high of day momentum scanner works, but it's also a little noisy, right? And so the way how it was described to me is that the platform is designed to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the adjective for like narrow? Like they don't want it to be super narrow, right? They kind of want you to be able to explore and see, different stocks that are coming through. Well, I did give them a recommendation, which I think would complete the platform for small cap traders. So the gap scan is good, but the high of day scan can be better. So all the hot stocks that'll come will hit the scans. But for example, I don't think I need to see TWST, right? But yeah, I think it's pretty good. There might be other scanners out there, but this is the one that I use. Momo of the Pro, baby. You guys can check it out. The links are down below. Momo of the Pro. One also, I'd say like a con of every scanner that's not integrated into your broker is that you lose time and you lose speed. So if I see a stock right now, if I click on it, it's not going to do anything in my broker but this is every scanner that's not integrated in your platform. All right. It takes time for me to come over here and type it in, and there have been days where if I could have just clicked on it, I could have probably caught that trade, you know? Yeah, it's broad. It's a broad view. 1099. There's like 10 there's different 1099s though. And then of course if you're working at any sort of corporation, you'll probably be doing the W2 or sometimes the 1040, right? I forgot the difference between the 1040, the 1040 EZ. But with these broker statements, we do a 1099 consolidated. So I think it's 1099B when we're doing our taxes. My accountant though, he's like he's an interesting guy. He's an interesting guy. Uh am I in San Diego? So the way how the trader team house works, we don't live with each other, right? That's something we might do eventually for an extended period of time, but it's kind of hard to pull off, right? The good news is that financially everybody's doing all right. So on that side of things, which probably in some cases is the biggest hurdle, we can do, you know, we can handle it. But there's just a lot of like, logistics, right? And people having their personal lives, people having different businesses that they're doing and things that they're trying to achieve and maybe people they're looking after. So it's just a little tricky to get everyone in one place for like, more than a month. And it's understandable, you got a business at home, you might not be able to leave for more than a few weeks. But yeah, we don't live together. We do different meetups every few months. We've done New York, New Jersey. We've done California, San Diego, and other places. We've also done Vegas, the most recent one. We might do Mexico next. They've been talking so much about Mexico. I don't mind going to Mexico, but I'm worried about the internet. If we go, it might just be like a full vacation, which, I guess it's cool, but I don't know. I don't really want to miss the market right now. CYTO mooning. CYTO to the moon. Oh, this is a cheap one. 29 cents. CCC gave another random big push there and back down too. The Thinkorswim scanner. I haven't touched the Thinkorswim scanner in a long, long time, Bretta. Yeah, and some of the stocks you'll see here, they're there. I haven't used the Thinkorswim scanner in a long time, and for some reason, I don't know why, but it doesn't work in pre-market. I don't know if there's something that I was missing all those like months or years ago, but it's like until the market opens, the scanner doesn't work. There's probably a way to fix that I don't know though. They say where there's a will, there's a way, right? Where in Mexico? Probably Suarez. That's a joke, but hopefully somebody laughed. We're probably gonna do Cabo or somewhere. Probably Cabo, more than likely. Suarez is like I think Suarez is like the most dangerous part of Mexico. It's like a it's also I think part of Suarez is also like it's like smuggling routes for cartels. Can you bring your weapon? Well, I mean it depends on what state we're in, right? Like Vegas is open carry, I think. Nevada. Some people are CCW, right? So yeah, just don't go to the airport with it. TSA is gonna be all over you. They do not play with that. Does the strength of the internet affect the execution speed? I would say yes. I think there's a certain like baseline standard that we need that will be good. I think as long as we're over like, maybe 30 megabits per second, we should be all right. I don't think having it be like 300, 800 makes it better. But I think if we're below like 20, 15, like I traded on the airport Wi-Fi before, like it felt all right, but I think at home I could have had like, maybe faster fills. So if we go to Mexico, we'll have to see if the internet is no good, it wouldn't make sense to trade. I tried it trading from Cancun. So I got to my flight was delayed, right? I got to the airport like 12 a.m. The first thing I did, got my laptop, checked out the internet speed, 60 megabits per second. Everything was working well. I'm like, yes. The next morning, I guess everyone woke up and was using the Wi-Fi. Down to like 3 megabits per second. I didn't stand a chance. So I tried to do the morning show just to like, you know, give the opening statements for the people and then got out of there. It was lagging so bad, I just had to shut it down. So there's a way to fix the pre-market scan, and the internet in Mexico and in Cabo is pretty good for trading. In Florida, anyone can legally carry without a permit. Yeah, different states. Like here in America, the different states like different countries, man. Some states, it's a whole different ball game when it comes to the law and the rules. And so this even for people who have weapons, they have to be careful when they're doing those like big drives. They're traveling to different states. They have to watch out because you can get pulled over, and it's like if your weapon isn't stored properly from state to state, it's a whole thing, man. You got to be careful, and you got to know the law. Oh yeah, we definitely do internet testing before. Yeah, we're probably gonna do Mexico next. There's some, there are some events here in New York coming up into the new year that we'll be attending. So we'll see what we do. Right now it's a little early to say anything indefinite, but we're planning on doing maybe another meetup. If all the guys might not be there, I don't know. We'll have to see. But for sure, myself, Crispy, and Marcelo will be there. Crispy is like 15 minutes away from me right now, and Marcelo's of course in Canada and El Salvador and like 5 other places. Marcelo travels a lot actually, but being in New York, I think being in New York is good, man. New York, it's like New York, like the tri-state area here as well. We don't have to worry too much about like flooding. It happens from time to time, but flooding isn't really bad. Hopefully, there's never a crazy earthquake with these tall buildings, but I remember at one point there was an earthquake, but it wasn't anything crazy. And other than that, just the winter time and some snow, and that's about it. It's fairly decent over here. I know some other states you have to worry about tornadoes and like real flooding, 15 feet and like I mean just craziness. People on top of houses trying to get rescued. I can't imagine that stuff, man. I can't even swim. I gotta learn how to swim. Pastor is gonna be there trying to float. Yeah, anytime you have a big city with that many people that close together, you're bound to have some form of crime. And then to make matters worse, I mean, it's a deep thing. That stuff is pretty deep, man. Yeah, the power has went out a few times in New York. A few times. More like it's more like think and sink. Think and sink. Do we talk about different platforms in classes? Yeah, we do. We talk about free commission brokers and paid commission brokers and the differences and the different ways in which you'd have to approach the market if you want to use, a paid version, a paid broker, right? At those platforms, you definitely don't want to be taking hundreds of trades a day. You might end up flat or even in red just straight off of commissions alone. Typically, if we can become consistent, it's less trades, bigger size, sometimes the longer hold time. Would I ever open up a broker account solely to short? Yeah, I'm in the process of doing that right now, actually. I opened up a platform with Guardian yesterday. I was trying to do some work in there to set up my interface, but I was having some issue. I have to call them today after the stream. I'm having this glitch where I'm logging in and I'm trying to sign my market data agreement, and like it keeps signing me out. I don't know what's going on with it. So I went from E-Trade to Thinkorswim. Back then after like watching reviews and stuff, it's like I felt that like Thinkorswim could be a bit of a better platform for me. E-Trade, the issue I was having with them at the time was their charting. While the charting is very maneuverable and is that a word? When it has great, it's very mobile. Let's say that. Charting is very mobile. Sometimes I can't speak here. Charting is very mobile, but it was having issues at times updating properly for the high and the low. And we know how crucial it is for me when, trading something as simple as the baby pullback or the candle making the new high or buying a dip and the low is incorrect. You refresh, you come back, you thought the low was at 2, the low was actually 188. That became a problem and I had my biggest red day because of it, like down like 500 at the time, a couple of years ago on E-Trade. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this platform. And Thinkorswim, with the ability to put in scripts and things like that, it's pretty good, especially for people who are good at writing code. It's a solid platform, I think, but they ultimately cater to long-term investing. The locates at Guardian, what I what I've heard is that they're cheaper than most other places. Like what is it called? Cobra, Centerpoint. Those are some other platforms that are known for going short. The thing is, when you're smaller, to compete, you have to be cheaper, right? That's just general business. So if I start up a broker tomorrow, all right, okay, free commissions is already out there. What other incentive can I give individuals to make them transfer over to me? You know, if locates are still a thing, then I want to give even cheaper locates, and my margins aren't going to be as big, but at least I'll have some sort of margin. I'll have some sort of, like customers. Maneuverability. There we go. Fidelity is being mentioned here as well. I just moved back to Florida from Oakland. 7 years. Oakland, CA. When you hear about America, you usually will hear about four states. You have New York, you have Florida, you have Texas, and California. I think those are like the most talked about states. Interactive. Day trade for success. Agreed volumes for script for free. That shows you buyers/sellers. Day trade for success, is that like I'm guessing it's maybe like a community? I'm not sure what day trade for success is. Oh, okay, it's a YouTube channel. Okay. The only thing I use right now in terms of indicators is just the VWAP trend lines, intraday, daily trend lines, and level 2. I can check it out though. I'm always open to at least looking into different things. So I can take a look. I'll copy and paste the name here. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll take a look at that. But yeah, I think this might be a good place to shut it down. We're down like $300. Days like today, I say this way too often, really. I should never really end red on a day like today. It's just too much opportunity in a stock like ADTX. The trade, it's just sometimes so close, man. The trade going up into the halt, I literally needed to hold it for like 3 more seconds. And that's 70 cents. Small size of 1,000 shares, but still could have been up $700 to just start off, which would have definitely been a big boost. Part of me getting green is like, I'm trying to push. I'm trying to push it. And if I can get to at least a decent level, I'm like, all right, time to at least lock in the gain, right? Depending on where we are, and like where are we with the stock? How much has the stock moved? But over here, I was thinking we could potentially see a retest of the highs, and so I'll keep at it, right? I'll keep looking for more trades, and if this fails, I'm gonna ease off. But yeah, definitely over here as well, because we got up to at least 800, I think, and then we gave back, or 1,000. I think we were up 1,000 at one point. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, what we have going on here in this community is special, man. Having 500 plus people regularly, and we only have about 13,000 subscribers. It's quite impressive because like I see people you know, whether it's on different social medias or not, like, you know, millions of subscribers, 3 million subscribers, and it's like only, you know, 200 people showing up to the stream. Now, why don't we get more than 150 likes per video? Now, that's a whole different story. That's a story for another time. So, I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay green. If you're going all the way to 4 p.m. at the close, continue to be disciplined, continue to be diligent, continue to be patient, and look for those opportunities that you know and love. I'll come back around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. if there's something good. If not, we're going to end the day down 264.15. Small red day, one scratch trade. So, take care. Hit that thumbs up on the way out, and I'll catch you guys in the recap. And again, tomorrow, bright and early for another beautiful day in the markets.